Hello again, everyone. Okay, so after the Titan video I posted, many people were saying that they wanted to see me do it with my Hunter because that was the first class I tried this with. So here we go, I've done another Stealth Hunter run and I'll just walk you through this with a little bit of commentary. If you don't like the commentary, just let me know and I can always post up a video without the commentary. But I'll just throw in a few comments as we're going along. Mainly it's self-explanatory, but I'll just point out a few things just to help anybody else do this that's trying to do it. One thing I've generally tried to do is I try to get behind the pillar, and if there's only a few stacks, I don't need to worry too much about hiding. I can just go behind it and just basically zigzag and wait for the stacks to fall down. And then make a move to the next area. If your enemies get too close, you can use your melee attack, so long as you've got your cooldown ready for it. So towards the end of the video I'll show my loadout for this, but it's basically, the concept is basically keep your strength stat as high as you can, so that you can keep the melee cooldown. Now in a few places here I do kind of mess up, and it does get quite messy at the end. I make quite a mistake at the end, and I'll explain why I made the mistake, and I'll explain how to get around it. I generally shoot that enemy there, and I have actually messed myself up a few times where I've actually gone behind that pillar and crouched down, and then the stealth is activated, and then I've shot him, and I didn't have my melee ready, and that's really messed me up, and I've ended up having to use a super if that's ready. But it's generally a good idea to shoot that one coming out the hole, you know, before you crouch down and get your stealth on. If you're lucky, what I'm trying to do here is, well, what I ended up doing is jumping on top. What I was trying to do initially was just basically get around the other side for them, wait for myself to you know, finish. Then I would have crouched down, waited for it to activate again, and then ran off. But if you manage to get to a pillar and your stacks go down to 1, down to 0, then you know you're going to be able to have enough time to jump up on top of it. Now I stayed on this side here just because I knew that they were far enough behind me. And if you alternate your crouching stealth and your melee strike hit, you'll find that your stealth time, the amount of time you've got to wait between your stealths isn't too bad. So if you've used your melee strike and you've got your stealth activated from that, it's like the cooldown for your crouch stealth is ticking over while that stealth is active. So you can very quickly manage to crouch down and get into stealth again. Again, just trying to break line of sight. So long as they don't see you, it'll buy you a few seconds. They will start wandering towards you, but every second that you can gain is going to be beneficial to you, because you need those seconds to tick by. There's about 10 seconds between a standard stealth and the next time you can actually activate it. That's after you come out of stealth, by the way. So again, breaking line of sight with the knight. There's actually a second knight there, or unless he moved, I don't know. You generally always have quite a high number of stacks here, so it's a good idea if you've got your melee available, and you can see my super's just about to fill up as well. So both of those would be, yeah, get out of the fire abilities. Now, I have skipped this a few times and then gone to the plate, and I found that the plate didn't activate. I don't know 100% whether you can activate it if you skip one, or whether the bridge only activates if you've actually activated all the lanterns themselves. But ever since I did that and it didn't seem to activate, I now make sure I hit every single pillar. So I've got my stacks down, and what I generally do is I hide behind one of these just to, again, break line of sight. However, what will happen is as soon as the bridge starts to activate, other thralls will start climbing up along the ledges, and then they can see where you aren't there, and so it becomes a problem. You see, they start climbing up now. It's the ones on the right that can usually spot you. Yeah, there you go. So I was hoping to wait there, but I couldn't wait because one of them got too close. So I've used my melee strike, and now I'm trying to get away. The problem is that you've got 10 stacks, so you've got to be very careful going from cover to cover. Now they all thankfully ran over to my other position, and I've gone behind this rock, and again trying to break line of sight, get my stealth up. I know I'm not going to be able to move very far. Now the problem is that these rocks over here where I've gone, they're too far away from the bridge. Now hopefully you'll be hearing the music in the background, but when the music dies away, the bridge stops activating, and that's because I'm too far away. So you can see I've gone a little bit closer here to try and keep it going, and then I've come back to make sure that I'm in a safe position, only to find that music's died. Okay, crap, I've got to start all over again. So, knowing that there's a massive open area to cover, I decided to go around the back. So if this happens to you, this is basically how to get it going again without getting yourself killed. So literally go from cover to cover, make sure you're always blocking line of sight, keep an eye on that radar. So I'm making sure I'm not going too far away. Now I've got my super available, I've got my melee on cooldown. So if I fail on this and they come towards me, I can use either of those to escape from the situation. But again, I've still got 10 stacks, and those 10 stacks are not going to go away. So you've got to be very careful and make sure you're not going to go over very large spaces of ground. So here I got a bit confused, I didn't know where to go, I panicked a bit. Thankfully managed to get my melee in. Now when there's that many thralls, it can be luck basically as to whether you survive it or not. And again, I've got a bit confused, not knowing which bit of cover to go for. I'm praying, but it's not going to happen. Thankfully I've got super. And I only just managed to survive that. When there's that many thralls, if they're all jumping in at you at once, and you're using your super, or you're using your melee, you might get really unlucky, and too many blows get landed on you, and then you're finished. But if you can safely get to this side and go behind that rock I just got to, without any enemies appearing, stay there. That's a good rock to hide behind, so long as you can keep breaking line of sight. Right, once we've got to the end here, then I went through my my build. I won't talk through too much of it. If you really want to study it, then just pause it when I change. Go from icon to icon or gear to gear so that you can see what I've got. But the main things you're looking out for. Trying to keep your agility as high as possible. That's so you can get to pillar with least amount of stacks. One thing I didn't do actually, the Mida multi-tool, the exotic, if you have that as a primary, that's got an ability on it which will help speed you up. Anything like that would actually add to this, it would make it a bit easier. But yeah, the main thing is the stealth abilities. So stealthing on your super, stealthing on your melee hit. There's one I'm just about to highlight now. Increases the duration of invisibility, and then that one for crouching down. Another thing I also had was I had the sniper rifle patience and time, and if you're aiming through the sight, there you go, gain active camouflage while aiming down the sight. That can be used as well to give you a bit of stealth if you need it. I didn't generally need it on this run, and I don't usually use it, but it's there as a failsafe. But it doesn't last forever, and you are slow when you're using it. So as you can see, my gear is not fully maxed out here. I had another exotic helm with higher stats, but it didn't have strength on it, so I switched to my other one. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Leave comments below.